You know that person at every party, every dinner table, every meeting, the one who never seems to struggle. No awkward silences, no checking their phone hoping someone else will speak first. They just flow, effortlessly, like conversation is something that happens to them, rather than something they have to work at. And meanwhile, you're sitting there running mental calculations like, do I bring up the weather? Was that joke too weird? Should I just nod? What if I told you that people like that aren't just naturally gifted with words? What if there's actual psychology behind it, and you can learn it? What's actually going on in their brain? Hey, welcome back. Or if you're new here, I make videos about the psychology of everyday human behavior. Today we're going deep on conversational fluency. Because here's what most people get wrong. They think great conversationalists just know more stuff. More facts, more stories, more jokes. But that's not it. Not even close. Research in cognitive psychology and social neuroscience shows that what separates effortlessly fluent people from the rest of us comes down to 5 specific mental habits. And we're covering all 5 today. Let's go. They listen to understand, not to respond. Habit number 1, they're not actually thinking about what to say next. They're genuinely listening. Most of us, when we're in a conversation, we're running a background process the whole time, like a tab open in our brain, preparing our next line. And while we're doing that, we miss things. We miss the real content of what someone just said. But people who never run dry, they're mining every sentence for material. Every word you say to them is fuel. Someone mentions they recently moved. They're already noting that. Someone says they're kind of tired. They catch that. Active listening is, quite literally, a content generation machine. The more you absorb, the more you have to respond to. The conversation feeds itself. They have a curiosity default. Number 2, their brain defaults to curiosity over judgment. When most of us hear something unfamiliar, our brain's first instinct is evaluation. Is this good or bad? Do I agree or disagree? Should I be impressed or skeptical? Fluent conversationalists? Their first instinct is, that's interesting. Tell me more. And that's not a technique. It's a neurological habit they've built. Scientists call it an approach orientation toward novelty, and it rewires how your brain processes incoming information. Here's the practical magic. Genuine curiosity produces genuine questions, and genuine questions keep conversations alive almost indefinitely. You literally cannot run out of things to say if you're always genuinely curious. The world is infinitely interesting if you let it be. They have massive associative networks. Third habit, and this one is fascinating. Their memories are built like a web, not a list. Psychologists talk about something called semantic network theory. The idea is that your brain stores knowledge in clusters, and the more connections between clusters, the faster you can access related ideas. Great conversationalists have huge associative networks. You say coffee and their brain lights up with Italy, mornings, that documentary about farming, an uncle who was a barista, caffeine and anxiety, that one study about creativity. And so they have 7 directions they can take the conversation. How do you build this? Curiosity. Yes, but also variety. Read widely. Watch things outside your comfort zone. Talk to people who aren't like you. Every new experience adds nodes to your network and creates more bridges between ideas. The more you live, the more you have to say. That's not a cliche. That's literally neuroscience. They're not afraid of silence. Number 4, and this one is counterintuitive. They're comfortable with silence. People who panic in silence start filling it with noise, filler words, half-thoughts, stuff they immediately regret saying, and it derails them. But the people we're talking about? They've made peace with pauses. They understand that a moment of silence isn't a social emergency, it's just a breath. And because they're not panicking, they're still thinking clearly. Their next thought comes from a calm mind, not a desperate one. Research in social psychology shows that what we perceive as an awkward silence is usually only awkward in our own heads. The other person is often barely registering it. The anxiety is ours. And once you stop being afraid of it, the silence actually gives you room to say something worth saying. They lead with vulnerability, not performance. And the 5th habit, probably the most important one, they're not performing. They're sharing. A lot of us approach conversations like an audition. We're trying to seem interesting, seem smart, seem cool, and that performance anxiety is exactly what makes us freeze. But fluent conversationalists? They've dropped the act. They'll admit they don't know something. They'll say, "That's weird, I never thought about it that way." They'll share a half-formed opinion. And here's the paradox, that vulnerability is magnetic. It invites the other person in. It makes the conversation feel real. Brené Brown's research showed this for years. Vulnerability doesn't make you seem weak in conversation. It makes you feel safe. And when people feel safe, they open up. And when they open up, the conversation has infinite places to go. So here's the truth. People who never run out of things to say aren't born that way. They've just built specific mental habits. And habits can be built. Listen to understand. Default to curiosity. Build your associative network. Make peace with silence. And stop performing. Start sharing. Do those 5 things consistently, and you won't just get better at conversations. You'll actually start enjoying them. And that changes everything. If this hit different for you, subscribe. I make videos like this every week. Drop a comment telling me which of the 5 habits you struggle with most. I read every single one. See you in the next one.